Sutra 2.46 Sthira Sukham Asanam. Sthira means firm, fixed, steady, steadfast, lasting. Sukham means happiness or delight. Asanam means postures or poses. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Asana is perfect firmness of body, steadiness of intelligence, and benevolence of spirit. Sutras 2.46 to 48 define asana and the effects of its practice. The definition of asana is given as follows. Whatever asana is performed, it should be done with a feeling of firmness, steadiness, and endurance in the body, goodwill in the intelligence of the head, and awareness and delight in the intelligence of the heart. This is how each asana should be understood, practiced, and experienced. Performance of the asana should be nourishing and illuminative. Some have taken this sutra to mean that any comfortable posture is suitable. If that was so, these would be asanas of pleasure, that is, bhogasanas, not yogasanas. This sutra defines the perfected asana. From the very first sutra, Patanjali demands the highest quality of attention to perfection. This discipline and attention must be applied to the practice of each asana, to penetrate to its very depths in the remotest parts of the body. Even the meditational asana has to be cultivated by the fibers, cells, joints, and muscles in cooperation with the mind. If asanas are not performed in this way, they become stale, and the performer becomes diseased, or a rogi, rather than a yogi. Nor does asana refer exclusively to the sitting poses used for meditation. Some divide asanas into those which cultivate the body and those which are used in meditation. But in any asana, the body has to be toned and the mind tuned so that one can stay longer with a firm body and a serene mind. Asana should be performed without creating aggressiveness in the muscle spindles or the skin cells. Space must be created between muscle and skin so that the skin receives the action of the muscles, joints, and ligaments. The skin then sends messages to the brain, mind, and intelligence, which judges the appropriateness of those actions. In this way, the principles of yama and niyama are involved, and action and reflection harmonize. In addition, the practice of a variety of asanas clears the nervous system, causes the energy to flow in the system without obstruction, and ensures an even distribution of that energy during pranayama. Usually the mind is closer to the body and to the organs of action and perception than to the soul. As asanas are refined, they automatically become meditative, as the intelligence is made to penetrate toward the core of being. Each asana has 5 functions to perform. These are conative, cognitive, mental, intellectual, and spiritual. Conative action is the exertion of the organs of action. Cognitive action is the perception of the results of that action. When the two are fused together, the discriminative faculty of the mind acts to guide the organs of action and perception to perform the asanas more correctly. The rhythmic flow of energy and awareness is experienced evenly and without interruption, both centripetally and centrifugally, throughout the channels of the body. A pure state of joy is felt in the cells and the mind. The body, mind, and soul are one. This is the manifestation of dharana and dhyana in the practice of an asana. Patanjali's explanation of dharana and dhyana in Sutras 3.1 and 2 beautifully describes the correct performance of an asana. He says, the focusing of attention on a chosen point or area within the body, as well as outside, is concentration or dharana. Maintaining this intensity of awareness leads from one-pointed attention to non-specific attentiveness. When the attentive awareness between the consciousness of the practitioner and his practice is unbroken, this is dhyana. In Sutra 2.48, when Patanjali says that the pairs of opposites do not exist in the correct performance of an asana, he clearly implies the involvement of dharana and dhyana. Sutra 2.47 Prayatna Shaitilya Ananta Samapati Bhayam. Prayatna means persevering effort, continued exertion, endeavor. Shaitilya means laxity, relaxation. Ananta means endless, boundless, eternal or infinite. Samapatibhyam means assuming original form, completion or conclusion. Prayatna Shaitilya Ananta Samapatibhyam. Perfection in an asana is achieved when the effort to perform it becomes effortless, and the infinite being within is reached. Perfection in asana is reached only when the effort ceases, instilling infinite poise and allowing the finite vehicle, the body, to merge in the seer. The sadhaka can be considered firm in his postures when persevering effort is no longer needed. In this stability, he grasps the physiology of each asana and penetrates within, reaching the minutest parts of the body. Then he gains the art of relaxation, maintaining the firmness and extension of the body and consciousness. In this way, he develops a sensitive mind. With this sensitivity, he trains his thinking faculty to read, study, and penetrate the infinite. He is immersed in the boundless state of oneness, which is indivisible and universal. Some say that it is possible to acquire mastery of asana merely by surrendering to God. How can this be so? In yoga we are on a razor's edge, and in asana perfection must be attained through perseverance, alertness, and insight. Without these, we remain dull and make no progress. Surrender to God alone does not make us perfect, although it helps us to forget the stresses of life and of our efforts, and guides us towards humility, even when perfection in asana has been attained. When the sadhaka has reached that state of balance, attention, extension, diffusion and relaxation take place simultaneously in body and intelligence, and they merge in the seat of the soul. This is a sign of release from the dualities of pleasure and pain, contradiction and extension, heat and cold, honor and dishonor, and so on. Perfection in asana brings unalloyed happiness, blessedness, and beatitude. Sutra 2.48 Tata Dvandva Anbhighata. Tata means from that, then. Dvandva means dualities or opposites. Anabhigata means cessation of disturbance. Tata Dvandva Anabhigata. From then on, the sadhaka is undisturbed by dualities. The effect of asana is to put an end to the dualities or differentiation between the body and mind, mind and soul. None of the pairs of opposites can exist for the sadhaka who is one with the body, mind and soul. When body, mind and soul unite in a perfect posture, the sadhaka is in a state of beatitude. In that exalted position, the mind, which is at the root of dualistic perception, loses its identity and ceases to disturb him. Unity is achieved between body and mind and soul. There is no longer joy or sorrow, heat or cold, honor or dishonor, pain or pleasure. This is perfection in action and freedom in consciousness.